This is my screencast video for the assignment due April 12th. Since my website's called Food, 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 I'll just talk about food. Just think I'll go through some food websites and talk about what I think is going on there. So I'm going to go to New York Times, see what their food section has to offer. Usually don't like it very much because they try to be fancy, and I think they're trying to go for a demographic I don't quite fit into. So, according to them, sesame has extended its sweet reach beyond the Middle East. That's good to know, but I'll probably stick to just sesame seeds in my hamburger buns. Still like them hot. She likes them homegrown. I'm not sure if that belongs in the food section. Uh, Cook with passion. Yes, yeah, I don't like this because I see a bunch of like fancy vegan recipes. Salmon is smoked salmon butter. I just think it's a little too hipstery for me. I usually like going to the Washington Post food section if I'm just trying to get some newspaper recipes or interesting articles about food. So you gotta go lifestyle, food. Here's proof that vegetarian Mexican food isn't an oxymoron. See, I don't really like vegetarian food that much, but this looks pretty good, and I like Mexican food, so I'd probably read that. And I like Washington Post because I think they do a pretty good job of like having some interesting articles, and then they do a good job of highlighting local new places. So the most controversial bagel in Brooklyn, I read this earlier. This guy makes uh, his bagel dough into rainbow colors, and apparently the people that live in Brooklyn, to be hipsters, don't like it because there's too many people cashing in the consumerism. This guy's checking out whether he should buy a rainbow bagel or what they call a unicorn horn, which I don't think I would like, but it's kind of cool. I found some pretty good recipes on Washington Post. One I really like is a shakshuka recipe. That sounds fancy, but it's not. It's just poaching eggs and tomato juice. I guess Passover is coming up. The Washington Post has a lot of articles about like tips for Passover, chopping an onion. So yeah, the best taqueria in Washington by a long shot. Another food website I like that you don't really go to a whole lot is this website called mybakingaddiction.com. It's not just baking, it's mostly dessert foods, but the girl who runs it has some good recipes for entrees and appetizers. I like they have a chocolate bark recipe that's really good. Let me just type it in. Addiction. So I didn't know how to make chocolate bark, but before I saw this, but it's really easy. So all you do is you take white chocolate or dark chocolate and you melt it. I just do it in the microwave for like 30 seconds at a time in a bowl. And then you put parchment paper over a cookie pan or a baking sheet, and you pour the white chocolate, usually about like a bag's worth of like chocolate chips, uh, onto the parchment paper, kind of like a rectangle formation or whatever you want. So it's kind of flat and it's not too clumpy. And then you can put whatever toppings in. This girl put like red velvet Oreo cookies in. I like putting in like just normal Oreos. So you crumble them, or you crush them in a plastic bag, and you can sprinkle them throughout the chocolate. But you can put other stuff in like nuts or dried fruit, whatever you want. And then you just take the baking sheet or cookie pan and you leave it in the freezer for like 4 or 5 hours. And then it's just a giant block of chocolate bark, and you can break it apart. And it's pretty good. I like it. Let's see what else the website has. It's got a recipe index I like. All kinds of desserts mostly. But I don't really like desserts that much. So check out her entrees. Don't really trust people that say that something is impossibly easy. If it's impossible, don't really think I could do it. I made this a few weeks ago. Try it out because it sounded good. Mac and cheese with roasted chicken, goat cheese, and rosemary. It was good, but like you can kind of see from the picture, the sauce wasn't like too comprehensive in covering the cheese. It was basically just reducing cream and adding goat cheese and rosemary to the sauce. Like that's it. It's not really a cheese sauce. It's more of a cream sauce with goat cheese. And then I just baked some chicken breasts and cut them up and added them to the mac and cheese. I liked it pretty well, but I don't think I'd make it again. Anyways, that's my screencast video for the April 12th assignment.